live your life. Don't live it watching someone else's.
Welcome to episode 185 of the Redefining Midlife. I'm your host, Jo Clark, and I'm so glad that you have gifted yourself this time with us today. Now, one of the things that I absolutely love on the podcast is to be able to have some really genuine conversations. And not just with you, my listeners, but also with my guests. And today I've got a very special guest who is coming on to talk to us. And Jo was here, back in August of, can you believe it, 2023, episode 48, and we're now episode 185. So a lot of conversations have happened.
What's going on?
And conversations that we had in that last one, they really stayed with me. And I know Jo and I have become closer friends. And when I was in Sydney last year, we had a lovely time where we were able to sit and just chat for a couple of hours, and we could have chatted for hours more if we had the time. So I would like to just remind you who Jo is. Jo has spent a big chunk of her career in publishing. She was a general manager of a boutique media publishing house, and she went on to become sales and marketing director at New Idea magazine in New Zealand. But over the last 14 years, she's built something that I think is far more meaningful than any job title. She's created a genuinely thriving midlife and menopause community for women, and she's the voice behind one of the most engaged Instagram platforms in this space, with 50 So What Official, which has been recognised as one of the top 10 accounts to follow for women in midlife. And what makes it stand out isn't the numbers. It's the honesty that Jo brings to her community, and it's the non-judgment, and it's the fact that women trust and love her. And alongside all of that, Jo does some of the most grounded, important community work that I know of. She actually runs a community hub focused on mental well-being, and she's secured grants for those most in need. She's helped to establish free counselling initiatives and has created real support pathways for some of the most vulnerable people in her community. She works with people that society often overlooks, and I think that work has shaped her in ways that come through in every single thing that she does. So Jo, welcome back. It's so good to have you here today.
Good to be back. I can't believe it's been 3 years. Oh, it's gone way too fast.
It has gone way too fast.
It's crazy.
It is. Now, the reason that I wanted Jo back on the show today is because this conversation feels like a really natural flow on from the solo episode that I recently released. And it's all about what happened when I stopped trying to look younger. And that was a big conversation I had to have with myself. But I also wanted to bring in a voice like Jo's because she lives right in the middle of this world. She's talking to women in midlife every single day. She works with fashion and skincare brands, and she has this huge social media presence. And yet she's able to bring that whole level of honesty to all of that, which I think is very, very rare indeed. So today we're going to get into the pressure that women feel around aging, the judgment that comes with how we might choose to do that, what social media and AI is really doing to us, and a whole lot more. And knowing Jo, I suspect we're going to go down a few rabbit holes and chat about all other sorts of things as well. So
I think we will.
Let's get started, Jo. You've got a really engaged following and you work with fashion and skincare brands. So what do you think it is about you that specifically resonates with your audience?
I think it's just honesty. And I think, look, the hub just cringes when you're right. He's like, what she's going to say now? But I think it's just honesty. And I will say what I think. I'll say really, I just won't hold back. And I'm not afraid to hold back. And I think the younger Jo would never have dreamt of saying some of the things that I've said. But life is short. And I think honesty is the best policy. So I think people really enjoy that. Some are a little surprised and taken back by what I do speak about. But look, if we talk about it and share and be honest, it's just going to help everyone. And I think that's the key.
It's often behind the scenes that I notice when, with the things that you talk about as well. It's not always when you're fully dressed with the light right, the makeup done perfectly. It's also, what it looks like on your worst days and the days where you're feeling very ordinary.
That's right.
No makeup, a couple of zits on the face and just feeling a bit bloated as well. That's a reality of women and our lives.
That's right. And that's really important because I think with Instagram and platforms at the moment, you're seeing the best of everyone. And I was just having this conversation with someone the other day. You're seeing the 2 seconds of their life where they look perfect. You're seeing the corner of their house that's perfect. You're not seeing the pot of bloody washing in the corner, the dishes in the sink. the mess, the bills piling up, the screaming kids or husband in the background. You're seeing this tiny little aspect of their life that appears to be perfect. And I think for me, when I first showed myself wearing no makeup and pimply, I thought, oh my God. And I just thought, but if I don't show them this, when they see me out in the street, they're going to go, holy shit, who's that? So I think for me, it's really important to be real. And I'm always showing the good side of life, the tough side of life. And there's been a lot of tough times in the past, with the 3 years since we spoke last. I think it's very important to show people every aspect and not just the best parts. Absolutely.
Yeah. And there's a lot of conversation right now about the difference between being influenced by someone who's your own age, like a midlife woman who is really in her 40s, 50s, and 60s, versus someone who's in their 20s trying to sell us certain things. So tell me, I know you've got a strong opinion on this, my friend. So tell us more about what your thoughts are.
So I have a very strong opinion on this, and I think that I hope brands listen to this, because if you're a brand and you're selling something to a midlife woman, I think it's pretty off-putting to have a 20-year-old on there selling collagen, for instance. Love your 20. You've got all the collagen in the world. Make the most of it. You don't need to waste your money on collagen supplements. And I think that that's not the way to speak to us midlifers. I want to see another midlifer talking about a product that's genuinely worked for them, that they really love. And I think also, a little bit controversial, but also if they're not selling something, but they're talking about a brand that they do, that they actually use, that they're passionate about, that they've been using for years, that resonates more to me than what a 20-year-old that looks perfect, that has not a wrinkle, she's got no pigmentation. I don't want to see that. That makes me very, very mad, because we are the ones buying that product. We are the ones supporting that business. So I think that they should be supporting us. Please show us some midlifers. I want to see other midlifers on there. I don't want to see 20-year-olds. I've been 20.
Oh. Yeah, well, that's right. My skin was very different even 10 years ago when I was a 48-year-old woman to what my skin is like now as a 58-year-old woman. So, if I am to buy a product or something, or to be sold to, I want to have someone that I can relate to.
That's right. And also someone you can trust. And, especially during menopause, our skin is constantly, my skin changes every single day. Something pops up every single day.
Yes.
So it's a difficult one. And I think speaking to midlife women together is really, really important. And a lot of brands aren't doing it.
No.
They're just not getting it. And, like we've talked about, we have the money to buy these products. So come on, do us a favor.
Well, that's right. There's enough of us out there.
There's a lot of us out there.
There is a very large amount of us out there.
Yeah.
And, we've talked about in a previous episode about aging. And I recently did a solo on this. Have you ever felt the pressure through all the different work that you do to present a version of aging that isn't entirely honest? Like, is there anybody, brands trying to get you to do that?
Absolutely. And, this is, and not just about the aging. I've had brands approach me and say, look, could you get on and talk about this product tomorrow? I've never tried that product. I say, sorry, not for me. But I know lots of people do. And do I feel pressure from certain brands that have approached me to look a certain way? And I've had brands approach me to say, look, I need you to put this filter on, or I need you to do this, or I need you to do that. No, I'm 55 years old. This is what you're getting. And if this is not what you want, then I'm not for you. Yeah. And the pressure is out there. It absolutely is. And I think we see it. We see it everywhere. And now with AI as well, I think we're seeing it's going even further. So yeah, there is pressure. And yes, I've seen it. And yes, I've been asked to present a face that's probably not my real face. And yeah, it's out there. And I think it's very sad. I think it's damaging. I don't think it's great for other midlife women. It's not good.
So there's an element of integrity that you've got that
I have integrity.
Appreciate. It's often hard if somebody doesn't know a person and to the extent been following them for a while, it's an ad that pops up. You can see how it's so we're such an easy target, and we're a growing market, even
We
though
are.
we're not being sold, inverted commas, sold to or spoken to in a way that really should resonate with us.
They
Yeah.
are targeting us. They are targeting us because they geo-target us. They go, okay, we may have a 20-year-old or a 30-year-old or a highly filtered 40 or 50-year-old on here, but we are going to geo-target. We're also going to target this age group. They know what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
They know what they're doing, and they are targeting us. And we are a huge portion of their revenue. We really are. We are the ones with the money buying these products. And I think it's very confusing for a lot of people, and it's, who do you trust? It's hard. It's really, really hard. But we are a growing market. I mean, we midlifers, there's a lot of us out of there.
Yeah.
We've got money to spend. And I find it concerning. I really, really do. And I've seen influence. I hate that word influencers. What a crock of shit. But I've seen women out there that are promoting brands, and every day they're promoting a different brand. I know they don't use that brand.
Yeah.
I find that concerning. And maybe that's just me, but I find it concerning. And I get emails or DMs every single day asking me to promote something.
Yeah.
And I turn away 99.9% of them. And I'm very transparent about who I support. Most people don't do that. And that's what I find concerning. And it's just the credibility. I think it's sad, people are getting sold products that don't work, or I don't know. I struggle.
For some people, they're being sold. Some products are actually quite dangerous for people to use
Absolutely.
without having and you just go, it's a minefield out there.
It is. And we were talking about supplements. I mean, you're going to get some woman that I saw someone's shelf, and I just about keeled over. I thought the amount of supplements that she was taking, I thought, you need to go and see a doctor.
Well, that's right.
That it could be dangerous. Certain supplements can interfere with other things that you're taking for genuine health reasons. And I think that we really need to stop and go, do we really need this, or are we only taking this because the person selling it to me appears to be perfect? And let's be honest, no one's perfect. What you're seeing is not perfect. It's manufactured bullshit.
I don't believe anyone who thinks or says otherwise.
That's right.
Joe.
That's right. I'm just saying how it is.
I know. Like before we hit. Oh well, I hit record. Joe and I were talking for at least I think about half an hour by the time we worked out our Zoom. About half an hour on all of these different topics. So it is something that you can spend a lot of time thinking about, talking about, but it's important that we do. Like, you've got to become a critical thinker, and when it comes to advertising and being sold to and being seen as, I want your dollar, so what are you going to do about it, or how should you look? And the believability is so important.
That's right. And I think a lot of advertisers hate me, because I think that if you don't need it before you've seen it, you don't need it.
Yeah.
It's that simple. And I'd rather spend my money on travel. I'd rather make memories.
Yes.
Yeah. That's where I'm at.
Yep. So you and I have talked about judgment that comes with how women choose to age. This is important because I want to talk about the judgment and gaslighting that happens.
Absolutely.
Where do you think that judgment comes from? Because you can't win as a woman.
You can't.
If you choose to go grey, then people will judge you for that. If you choose to have hair colour, then your people might choose you for that. Short hair, long hair, Botox, no Botox, facelift, no facelift. Put on a few pounds, exercise mat. It's just judgy.
We as women and as a society become more judgmental. And I thought about this long and hard, and I did a lot of work on myself with this, because I think that comes from our own insecurities from within. And I think that and it's really confronting realizing that. It's really confronting realizing I'm reacting to this person because am I jealous of them? And in some cases I probably was. And was I jealous they had the money to invest in that? Probably I was. Or they had the guts to do it when I didn't. And I think that, and I look at some women that age gracefully and they never get anything done, and they're so powerful and they're so confident. And I want to be like that. And I think you are amazing. And I think the way we react says more about us and nothing about the person you're talking about. But is the judgment out there, and are people vile towards others? Absolutely. And the whole let's age gracefully. This is a big club, and if you're not in it, then you're dreadful. And the whole, okay, well, I'm going to get something done, all the others are dreadful as well. And it's really horrible. And I think, and I've said to you before, it's not woman supporting woman or pro-woman. It's actually, you're actually anti-woman, because you're judging another woman for the way they choose to live their life. And that's none of our business. Be thankful and grateful and happy that they're happy. Wouldn't we be so much better off and supportive of each other as women? You'd be able to age and not worry about that. If you wanted to get something done, great. If you didn't, great. Then we'd concentrate on building each other up with other things, businesses, mental support, mental health, all of these things. Oh, if only.
Yes. And it's interesting, isn't it, that as we get older, we say, oh, we start to give, less concern about what other people think about us. But that's not often the case.
It's not. It's not.
We say it, but that's still in there, because that's what we grew up with. We've had decades of conditioning. So, it's
it's hard, and I think that we do care about what other people think. As humans, we are judgmental. If it's not something that doesn't align with what we think, we do judge it. I think that's just natural human behavior. But I think that with the rise of social media, I've seen more and more judgment and hatred. And I think I saw a post the other day, and it was this woman had put up, she was very pro-aging naturally, which is fantastic. She'd put up a picture of another woman that had had some work done. And I just thought, why do you have to degrade somebody else to make you feel, your choices feel better for you? And then in the comments, this woman was being towed into. And when I mean horribly so, vile comments in this feed. And I just thought, you know what, you're a horrible human being. To make yourself feel better, you're judging someone else. How about going, I feel good about the way I look, because instead of targeting someone else that's not part of your group, that's something that's really damaging about social media. And I think that that's something we need to change.
Yes.
Everywhere. There's
such a large spectrum, isn't it, on how a woman, in inverted commas, looks at a certain age, and how, we're not looking all the same. And I think we've got to find what is comfortable for us.
That's
and if it doesn't, and someone else's choices don't align with ours, align with ours, you do what you want to do.
Yes. Jo, you were so right. And it's so hard. And I think it all comes down to us, ourselves, and how confident we feel about ourselves and our decisions and our beliefs. And it's so much easier. You hear people rant on about maybe a political view or whatever, and you can feel yourself get pent up because that's not what I agree with. But then I think, oh, no, switch off. Yeah. I believe in this. They're entitled to believe in that. Happy days, and you feel your stress levels go down. And it's a great place to be. Sometimes you get targeted so much you want to react, but you just need to take a deep breath and go, it's not worth it in the scheme of things. It's not worth getting worked up. It's not worth getting your cortisol levels through the roof. It's not worth the stress, because it really, really isn't. And you don't realize that until something big happens in your life, right? And I think even then it's still hard not to be judgmental and to zoom out and speak about these things. But let that person be, I say. If they want to, just let them.
Are you surprised by the judgment and probably the nastiness that can come from other women? Like, is
absolutely. And you know what? This happened quite a while ago, actually, before it was sort of as widespread as what it is. But I'd had a whole face of laser because I was in a surf lifesaver growing up, and it's how my family grew up. And my face was shocking. And every time I looked at myself, it reminded me of the stupid decisions I made. Baby oil, remember those days, baby oil all over your face, lying out like this. So I went and had laser. And I was really open about it. Here's me, lazy. I look like I'm not good. I look
I've
like,
had that same procedure because of my oldest little skin.
yeah,
Yeah,
yes. And
yeah.
I looked a bloody fright. I thought I'm going to show people this because they need to see. And I'm going to be honest because someone said, oh, your skin's glowing. And like, but this is why. That I don't look like this. And a follower came to me and she said, I'm unfollowing you. You are such a fake bitch, were her words. And I thought, okay, I'm not going to agonize this woman because she may go through things herself. Did it make me feel horrible at the time? Absolutely. I thought, what have I done wrong? And I internalized that. But I'm just being honest, and I'm always going to be honest no matter what I do. And so be it. But there are people that judge. There are people. And look, it's coming from what people say is a reflection of them. I really believe that. And people will always judge. Have I been judged? Absolutely. Have I had horrible things being said about me? Quite a lot. um, and you know what? It's usually not by people that follow me. It's very strange. People will just see something and stalk me on stories and say something nasty, but they're not actual followers. So it's interesting. It's interesting. Yeah. So if they're doing that to me, they're doing that to other people too. So I go, yeah, whatever.
And isn't that block button so good?
That, that block button's great. I mean, I went through my block list. I thought, shit, that's long. My old finger's been going like this. But and it is what it is, and it shouldn't happen. People shouldn't be big nasty, but it's human nature, and we need to. Unfortunately, and this is just horrible. We need to figure out a way to cope with it ourselves,
Yeah.
and that takes a lot.
And sometimes standing by and hearing others do that as well in conversation, it takes a lot of bravery to say, hang on, like you can catch yourself and stop yourself
Yes,
and be aware of your own thoughts, your own words that come out of your mouth.
that's right.
It's like with any sort of negative comment or a nasty comment, sometimes you just got to pull up another person as well. And it's not easy to do. That is not easy to do.
It's not easy to do. And I think, a wonderful lady when I first started in business, she said to me, if someone's going to sit in the boardroom with you and slag off someone else in front of you, they're going to do it about you.
Yeah.
And I've never forgotten that. And, and there's been times I've had to pull myself up and think, shit, maybe I shouldn't have said that. And it's been nothing nasty, but it's been an observation that probably didn't need to be made. And I've also pulled other people up and said, you know what, this is not on. Stop.
Yeah.
And it just comes down to what you say is a reflection of you and how you're feeling at the time.
Yes.
And we need to think before we speak. Another one of Mum's great.
Yeah.
Pieces of advice. And it's so true.
It is so true.
And it's so simple. And we don't do it often.
No,
enough.
not often enough. And some people, not everybody, but some people are definitely like that. So, Jo, I want to talk more about, social media, filters, digital overload, AI, all of these things that are bombarding us now that have only really been around for a very short time when you think about it, but it's getting more and more. So you spend a lot of your time and in the work that you do on social media. What's your relationship with it?
Oh,
A love-hate one, perhaps?
It is a love-hate one. And I hate, what I don't like seeing is we see women that have used filters or something like that on Instagram or Facebook or wherever. And I just think, to what end? Because surely you look in the mirror and you see what you see. And was I guilty of that in the beginning? Absolutely. And I would never have shown myself without makeup. And if I did, I would have put a filter on, 100%. But to what end? Because it's only making me think, when I look at myself in the mirror, shit, I need a facelift. Or you can't walk around with a filter all your life. You just can't.
Yeah.
And I think that the day that I stopped doing that and the day that I thought I'm going to put more of what I am on here, you just feel free. you feel free, and it's a bloody nice, it doesn't mean that I still want to go and have lasers, I still put makeup on, but I think that being true to yourself is a big thing. Do I think there's a problem within the social media atmosphere? And yes, I do. Do I think it's scary? Absolutely. Do we lose what's real? We do. Are lots of people doing it and using AI? Absolutely. We've seen more people say they're on holiday and they're not, it's AI. That's scary. We've had, I did an experiment with a group. We were doing something with some mental health, and we did an experiment and we said, AI, give me a facelift. Well, I just about fell off my bloody chair. And I thought, what? Jesus, this is out there. And people are presenting themselves on these platforms. It's not the real them. And I think that it's dangerous. I think the expectations that it actually puts, not just on the younger generation, it's actually damaging to our generation, because we start to think we need to look this way. And I think that's dangerous. And do I believe it's damaging midlifers, although we have so much more confidence? And it is, because I see it and I hear about it every single day. Do I think it's wrong to have a facelift if that's what you want? Absolutely no. Do I think it's wrong to present something that you're not? I do a little bit. Yeah, I do. And honesty as well plays a big role in this.
Yeah.
A big role in it.
It's so hard, isn't it? Because there are new accounts that are being made or existing accounts that might be using AI generated imagery. And it's so damn good. And
You
now,
can't
again, women can't, I've got the pressure that you have to look a certain way, age a certain way, be a certain way. And it isn't real. Like you were saying before, it's not real. So
It's not
how,
real.
whether or not you're using filters, that's not the real you. Whether or not the image that you're seeing advertising something or talking about something isn't real. It's,
That's
we've got to have a level of critical literacy when we start to look and see things and read things.
We need to. And I think there's one brand that I worked with, and I got the brief, and it said, do not use filters. Do not put anything on there. Do not put it through Instagram. Just give us raw footage, because that's what we're going to use. And if you don't like it, tough, we won't use it. And I thought, wow,
that would be rare. Would I be right in saying that would be something that would be quite rare?
Yes, it is. It is rare, but it was, and I love that. I love that, but it's very, very rare. And look, I've got freckles all over my arms, and I had one brand say, oh, could you use a filter? No. Not why? Why? We all age. Why? I don't know why. But it's happening. AI is out there. People are using AI. We don't know what's real. We don't know if their surroundings are real. We don't know the face is real. And it comes down to, is their life real? And many women, because it's only human, are judging themselves against that. And that's when it becomes really dangerous. That's when it becomes damaging. That's when our mental health suffers, because it's only natural to look at what you're seeing and judge yourself against that. And so I think out of all of this, that's the scariest thing for me. And that's what I worry about most with this generation of women.
Yeah. I mean, it definitely affects the younger women, and we won't talk about them because we'll talk only about our age group. But I saw something on Instagram the other day highlighting just how bad this can be. And we know the importance of strength training, lifting weights, strong bones, having muscle so we're not frail, that we can get up and down, stairs and chairs and whatever it might be. The image that went with that message was AI generated, of a woman who was supposedly in her 80s. And without a word of a lie, if you looked at it and thought that was a woman in her 80s, truly, but some people would.
Some people would,
And that's what, and an artificial image that some
it's
people try to
dangerous.
attain. And that's so dangerous.
It's dangerous. And it's just, I think there needs to be a level of honesty out there. And that an image like that it's so dangerous. It's that, and it's also the praise of images like that.
Yeah.
Why
Oh,
it's
she
like,
looks so great. She's still hot at, whatever age you went. But
that's right. And then I look at myself and I go, Jesus, I've got these from lubas.
yeah.
How, what the hell? Like, I'm not even 80, I'm 55. Why have I got these things? And, why have I got dimples on my legs? And why have I got creases on my legs? My muscles disappear. And then I see an image of a certain celebrity and people going, oh my God, she's so toned. No, she is not toned. She's skeletal.
Yeah.
There's not toned. And I think that AI has a lot to play in this, but I also think that other media are saying how great someone looks when it's not healthy also have to take some accountability as well. And so we're damned if we do, we're damned if we don't, but we're getting it from everywhere. We're getting targeted from everywhere. And it's a real worry because you do,
Yes.
I mean, I'm quite sensible, I'm quite intelligent, and I look at my muscle disappearing and I look at the folliculubas, the freckles that pop out of nowhere, the age spots, and I think, oh shit, well, that woman's 80 something, she doesn't look like that. And you start to think, oh, well, do I need to have creatine? Do I need to go and pay this trainer? Do I need to do this? That's what it's designed to do.
Yeah, of
And
course
that's
it
when you
is.
take a step back and go, you know what? No, it's
So what
not.
do you do, Joe, when it all becomes, and again, because you've got a large account, you've got a lot of people who will message you, how do you step away from the overwhelm sometimes with
I
what?
do it. I do exactly that. I step away. I step away. And I think that it's really important to know when you're feeling triggered, that you have to remove yourself from it because what is triggering you? Is it the hours of scrolling? You go to look at something and before you know it, a couple of hours have gone by. God, you've wasted your life, by the way. And you are what you're taking in and you are what you're surrounding yourself with. So if I'm feeling like that and I'm triggered by that, I go and see my real friends. I go and talk to real people. I go and surround myself with the people that make me feel good. And that's really important. And I think that I always talk about this. Live your life. Don't live it watching someone else's because
Yeah,
that's dangerous for many reasons for which we've talked about. So I just switch it all off.
yeah,
I switch it all off and God, I feel better for it. And it takes you back to reality, to what reality is, the real reality, not the one that we're fed. And there's a big, big difference. There really is. And it still shocks me today that, yeah, it does shock me. I get shocked by how I react to what I'm seeing.
yeah.
But just walk away because 90% of it's not real.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about then that it can be kind of overwhelming to have that in your face all the time,
Yes.
and because it's so accessible, we've got it, you know, we've got it on our phones, we've got it on
Yeah.
our laptops. We're
It's
easy
everywhere.
to get to. It's everywhere. So we'll talk about a little bit what you shared in the last episode, and you were very open about that, about how you have been living with or had lived with debilitating anxiety.
Um,
And I really do encourage everyone to go back to listen to that episode and listen to Jo's story more in depth. You said that coming through that has shaped who you are today. So how so, and how do you cope with all of that, with knowing that that's what you went through to avoid getting back into that hole again?
Look, I think it has shaped me in ways that I think about it now and I think about the old Jo and I feel immense sadness for her. I really do. I feel sad for that woman that I was. It has shaped me in every single way. It has made me, it's given me more empathy towards people. It's made me understand people more. And it's also made me realize that everyone has a story. Everyone has a story, and we are the way we are, possibly, well, we are the way we are because of our story. And I looked at the way that I was and the way that I reacted, and I couldn't leave my house for a year, and there was a lot of things going on, and I really hated myself, and I didn't want to be here. And I just think that has made me who I am. It's made me want to help other women. It has made me look at where I work in the mental health area. And I have so much empathy for people that are feeling like that.
Yeah.
And I think you only get that for going through it. And you really do. You understand why people react or act the way they are because they're going through something. And I think I had no patience, even though I was like that. I had no patience for other people. I never understood it. And I don't know, working on yourself and going through all of that. And in the last episode we did together, I really worked hard to be here today. And I don't say that lightly, because there was a time I possibly wasn't going to be here today. And I think that has made me calmer. It's made me less reactive. It's made me want to be myself more. It's made me want to be more honest. It's made me want to help other women that are struggling in every area of their life, maybe not just from anxiety. It's made me understand depression better. It's made me understand people who have depression better, because it's easy to go snap out of it. Oh, God, how naive. You can't. And it's made me understand how I react to other people, and the best way for me to react to other people to make them feel comfortable and more confident and maybe ask for help. So it really has shaped who I am today, what I am doing today, and the area and community that I work in. And I could not be happier for being this version of me. And it took a lot to get here, and I went through some not great times to get here. But I just feel bloody great. I feel like I'm a breath of fresh air for myself. Does that feel weird? Sound weird? But I'm so grateful I made it through. And I think for any woman that is struggling, for any person that is struggling, you can make it through. And it's going to be tough. It's not going to be easy. But you can do it. And when you do it, it's not always going to be easy. You have some shit days, you have some down days, you have some depressed days, you have some days where you just want to hide away. But you have more good days and bad days. And I think that for those women that go through that, there is hope, and it can shape you in ways that you never thought you could be shaped. And I think that's how it's made me now. And God, I'm grateful. I think I was a right nightmare.
Yeah. It's like a blessing in disguise, having gone through that to get you to who you are today and who you're going to be tomorrow.
I think so. Yeah. Absolutely. And and it's the people along the way.
Yes.
It's the people along the way that you can't do it on your own. And it's wonderful people like yourself, other people that I've connected with, and really caring, beautiful humans around. And I say this to everyone: surround yourself with people that make you feel good, because they're going to be the ones that will support you. And we all need that. No matter how happy we are in life, we all need those connections and those support networks and the people we can pick up the phone to and go, oh.
That's right, you do. And mental illness has a way of being shunned by society, yet it's just so common, more common than people want to take credit for. And thinking about your work that you do, it's so important, because you work with people that society often will overlook, will judge really terribly. What has that taught you that nothing else could?
It has taught me everything. It has taught me patience, like I said before, empathy, understanding. And I think before, if I saw a scruffy, not so put together homeless person on the side of the road wanting to have a conversation with me, I'd probably be scared, to be honest. Mainly it comes out of fear, or I think, well, get away from me. And now I look at that person: how can I help you?
Yeah.
What is there anything that you need? And people with mental health, or like a beautiful Molly that has since passed, she had severe learning difficulties. She had a number of multiple personalities. There were lots going on with Moles. And I looked after her for years, and what she taught me is never judge a book by its cover, because she was ignored by society. She was shunned by society. And I remember she went to a cafe. I said, go to a cafe and order your favourite bits and bobs moles. And she went, it was a cafe in our neighbourhood here, and they told her to get out. And she phoned me, and I said, well, Smalls, you stay right where you are. This cafe knew me. And I stormed in there with Molly, and I said, now you serve her and you apologise to her. And they were quite shocked. And I think that they judged Molly, and I can understand, because they didn't have an understanding, and maybe they hadn't dealt with people like that before. But it happens a lot, and it's understanding that these people are just like you and I, and they've got a background, and they're amazing. And I think that I deal with a lot of people like that in society and within our community. And I just think now I want to help, with caution, especially certain sectors of the community. You always have to be cautious. You have to have your wits behind you. But I come in with huge empathy and understanding that everyone's different. And those people have really made me feel grateful for what I have. They've made me feel grateful that I've actually had a good life, and that I haven't had to live through half of what they've lived through. And they are the way they are for many reasons. And I think that we have to have a huge understanding of that before being judgmental. And I could talk for hours about this, because I'm really passionate about it. And you know what? I was one of those people that judged.
Yeah.
I was one of those people that judged. What a horrible human being I was. But I think having an understanding and not just looking at things from face value is hugely important in this society today.
That's right. You never know somebody's story, and it's always
Never
being
know.
kind. It's just
Oh,
that
kindness
kindness.
is free. It's free. You know,
Yeah.
it's if someone's struggling to pay for something. My mum did this the other day. She God love. Someone was in the supermarket and the car wasn't working, and he said, "And Mum, just pay for it." And I think that's so lovely, and it's little things like that. And it's actually the same. Mum did that because the same thing happened to her. She went to a fish and chip shop. Mum loves getting rid of all her change, so she was in there. She was in the fish and chip shop counting out all her change, and this big burly guy behind her said, "Oh, I'll get that for you, bro." And Mum, and he was this young, like buffed up guy. And Mum said, "I was so embarrassed," because she had the money. She just wanted to change. But she said, how lovely was it that this young guy, you know, a big young guy, looked at Mum and wanted to help her. And I just thought, it was so lovely.
Yeah.
And Mum said she was mortified. And it was lovely. It was so, and if Mum had been someone that didn't have the money, that little act of kindness can mean everything. Saying hello to someone can mean everything. Saying to someone, "You look great today," can change someone's day. Someone could wake up and feel dreadful and be trudging into a job they don't like. And if someone goes, "Gosh, you look really good today," or "Have a nice day," doesn't cost you anything to do that. But the impact for the other person is huge, and it can be huge without us knowing it. And kindness is huge, and it's free. I mean, it's a no-brainer.
It is, Jo.
Absolute no-brainer.
It is. So we kind of talked on connection before and what that means. As you're getting older, have your friendships changed? Have you found there's...
Yeah, they have.
Okay.
I think my circle has got smaller, and it's funny saying it, because I have a huge community of 50 so what, and I love my community. But I think my close circle of friends has got smaller. But the friends that I have, they are my forever friends. They are people that love me for who I am. I love them dearly. We would drop anything for each other, and you know they've got your back. And so my circle has changed considerably. It is a lot smaller. I still have great friends, but I purposely keep that circle small.
Yeah.
And I treasure it, and I know they are there through thick and thin. And it's the best feeling ever, and I feel very, very lucky for that. And yes, not this big wide circle of going out with 100 different people. It's knowing you've got a small select group there that you'll always have. And I feel really lucky. I really do, because I know I could be here talking to you when I'm 90, and those friends will still be here.
Yeah.
And it's wonderful. And our friendships they're genuine. There's no secrets. We can tell each other anything, and there's no judgment. And I will support them, whatever they choose to do. It may not be what I would choose to do. And one of them's crazy. I love her. And she's busy chasing cowboys in Texas. But you know what? I love her. I love her. And I'll support whatever she wants to do.
Mm.
So
yeah, I've done and talked to a number of women about friendships and how it can change and morph, and that's a very common element.
And it is.
The circle does get smaller and tighter.
Yeah, but it's a beautifully connected circle, and it's one that you feel safe in, and it's one that's always there. And I think that for me also, because I don't have children, that circle is really important to me.
Yeah.
And so it does change.
It does change.
And I think it changes for the better, to be honest. You've got those people in your life that you need, and that are there to support you. Gosh, that's important.
It is, isn't it? And then talking about how things change and evolve our friendships, let's talk about life updates, because it has been a few years. And this stage of our life is filled with lots of big life things that happen, like a lot of major transitions. And you've had some big highs and lows.
I've had some big highs. Yeah, I've had some big highs and lows. And
so what have they taught you? Like, you know, as they come at the other side?
Yeah, they've taught me that life, I always thought coming into midlife, it would be a breeze. Not a breeze, because menopause, what a wild road. Oh, that's not a breeze. But I always thought it would be a nice time where I'd have time and life would be life. It is bloody not like that. You know, Dad died last year very suddenly, and that had a huge impact on me. It had a huge impact on my health, which I didn't realise until 6 months down the track.
Yeah.
And that hit me in ways I never thought would, for many reasons, which would be a whole other episode. But it takes you back to your childhood and certain things that aren't so great. And I think that hit me. But then again, you know, you concentrate on the good. And I miss Dad dearly, but that was a big thing. The hub was sick.
Yes, and that was in the last episode. He just got over the major. So he's been on an.
So he had a brain injury, and then he had something with his heart, and then he had a huge skin cancer. But he's all good now. He's done all these. He's had his attention.
He's skipping off into the
now
sunset.
We can go out. Now he's having a good old laugh. So there's that, and this navigating this time of our lives, I think it's a funny time, isn't it? Like our parents are either passing or getting older, and we've got to look after them. And then our health, we've realised that things change, and we need to mix up what we do, and certain things happen in our life. And navigating menopause was not great for me. I probably had about 5 procedures since we last. And that's it's all part of life. And I learned to roll with it. You just got to go with it. What's the point in getting pent up or frustrated or taking these things with us? Because bloody hell, I've only got, what am I, 55? I've got, 34 years left. I don't know. I'm just going to spend them not carrying things that don't serve me.
Yeah.
But, have the last 3 years, has a lot happened? Absolutely. Absolutely. I've lost beautiful people in my life. I lost Molly. And gosh, a lot of people are popping off, aren't they?
Well, it's the age, isn't it?
It's
parents
the age.
And your friends' parents will pass.
Yes.
It's the age where other, like our own friends might have health crises, and sadly some of those may not make through some of those crises.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on. And think about that's sort of the the harder part. What are some of the the other things, that the positive ones that have happened?
Oh, the good things. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness, the good things. There has been so much. And I think that travel, obviously, I've traveled, which I just love, and I
Mm.
love that. And seeing mum settled and happy has been incredible. She is a breath of fresh air. This woman's amazing. I love her to bits. And I think seeing my friends develop, my goddaughter grow, and she's studying psychology now, that's been an absolute pleasure to see. And I think I played a part in that, and she was studying law and decided to pivot,
Yeah.
which I'm so proud of her. She didn't want, she thought, oh, what are people going to say? So that's been good. And I think doing more in the community that I do, I sort of looked at programs for mental health and psychology and offering that free to those in the community that need it. That's been such a big thing for me, and a lot of hard work. But just something I love. And I think that's been wonderful. 50 So What growing and developing, and the community of women connected. I think that is just, it's been such a pleasure. I didn't realize it would be as big as what it was, what it would be, and it still continues to grow. So
Yeah.
the opportunities around that have been really good. I have worked with a couple of lovely brands, and I say a couple because I only ever do a couple. And just, I don't know, I think just going through some rough times makes you realize that those good times are even better, and you embrace it more. And
Yes.
that's what I've been doing.
Yeah.
And yeah, and not being afraid to, I'm not one of these people that go to the opening of an envelope. And kind of pushing myself out of my boundary a little bit more, I've been doing, and I've kind of loved it because I am quite insular, believe it or not. um, so yeah, it's been an eventful 3 years, and I'm looking forward to the next 3 years.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, have you got plans that you're working towards over the next few years?
Yeah. So I'm working more within. I've been concentrating on children's mental health within our industry, within our community, should I say? And I am now looking at all ages of mental health, being able to offer predominantly midlifers free psychiatric care with a psychologist here in this community. So I'm working on that, and I'm looking forward to seeing how that develops and grows. It's a big project, but we'll do it. And so that, and more travel, absolutely more travel. I want to organise a trip with mum and my sister. Where we can, and that is something I'm really, really looking forward to. And maybe traveling to places that I probably wouldn't want to. I don't say that sounds weird, doesn't it? But pushing myself, pushing those boundaries is what I want to do. And more, I think more with 50 So What, and seeing how we can push those boundaries with what we do and how we can help people.
Fantastic.
So, yeah.
Lots to unfold. So it'd be really interesting to see how it all goes. Where can people, Jo, before we wrap up, where can people find you who may be listening now and haven't come across you and your work before?
Oh, look, hop on to 50 So What Official on Instagram, and then there's links there. Click onto my website, which I need to work on. But have a look at me. Hey, yeah, you'll find me on Instagram, and predominantly on stories is where you'll find me. But everyone is welcome. It's a beautiful, supportive community. And yeah, I'm pretty honest and open on that.
And I'll have the links in the show notes as well, so everyone can just go straight to the show notes and click on that. We'll find you. And when did you say 50 So What? It is 50 with a 5 and a 0.
Yes.
That's important to remember, not the word 50.
No, not the word 50.
So, Jo, just before we close up then, if you could just say one thing to a woman in midlife who is struggling with maybe how she looks and how she's aging, or just feeling like the world is a whole lot right now, which, it is, if we're honest, what would that be?
Look, you are not alone. You are absolutely not alone. And don't take what you see on social media and digital platforms, because it's mostly not real. But there's a huge community and connections for everyone out there. And you know what? Just look at yourself inwardly, not outwardly, and don't judge yourself don't judge yourself based on what other people are doing or what they look like. But mostly, if you're feeling down, you're never alone. We are never alone. There are people to talk to and communities out there. And I think it's really important to remember you're not isolated.
Yeah, that's a great message to leave everybody with. So, Jo, thank you so much for coming on today. We have covered quite a lot of ground, and I think we've solved a few more of the world's problems, which is good to see.
Absolutely.
Anyway, thank you so much for coming on, and we'll speak to you maybe in another few years and see what you're up to.
Absolutely.
Fantastic.
Thank you,
All right, lots of love. Bye-bye. Thanks so much for listening. If you enjoyed today's episode, please rate, follow, and share it with another incredible midlife woman. And join me next week as we keep creating an amazing second half of life.